This is Newcap News with Brian Lentz.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Thousands of people around the country are sporting their favorite jerseys today to show sympathy and solidarity with Humboldt. Our Michaela Henschel was at Holy Rosary today to find out what wearing a jersey means to staff and students.
The halls of Holy Rosary were bursting with color as students and staff proudly wore their team's jerseys for Humboldt. With many students here the same age as some of the Broncos players, the tragedy feels personal.
I may not have known them personally, but it still impacts us. Lloydminster is a very hockey-knit community. That could easily have been any one of us on that bus.
I think it's important for the students to be understanding of those similar age and be very supportive of what's going on. It was a very tragic accident and it affected a lot of people in their emotions and just how they operate day to day.
As students displayed their support on their backs, the emotions linger for both past and present hockey players, where in a community like Humboldt, hockey means everything.
It was just devastating knowing that the bus is where everybody gets to know each other and kind of bond as a team, and knowing that tragedy has happened there of all places just kind of hits home and hits the heart.
I know that for myself, growing up in Lloydminster, and I was involved in hockey and rode the bus lots, and I remember the bus accident of the Swift Current Broncos in 1986. It really hits home because it's something I grew up doing.
And while the pain is still fresh in the hearts of many, there is comfort in knowing the country mourns and stands united. Whether it's by wearing a jersey or placing a hockey stick on the front porch, the entire country feels Humboldt strong.
Everybody's got together here, even if they don't play hockey or mutually like hockey. Everybody's throwing a jersey here, throwing green or yellow, and support's been fantastic, and I hope it keeps coming for them.
Michaela Henschel, Newcap News.
As the rest of Canada and many around the world grieve with those most closely affected by the Humboldt crash, taking care of the mind and soul become critical. In this week's Healthy Living, Josh Ryan looks at the importance of processing your feelings in the aftermath of tragedy.
Many people in this region have connections to the Humboldt Broncos crash.
So I'm familiar with the SJHL, I'm familiar with the area. I drove by that corner countless amount of times growing up.
However, people across the globe have lent support to those affected, as we can all identify with grief.
And it's such a universal experience of loss and the shock of that scope, of that many deaths, that even across the world, the impact of this event is being felt.
The event could trigger reminders for many people regarding previous loss or trauma.
That I know from doing the job how it is dealing with bad calls and stuff, so I've just been giving people kind of their time and letting them deal with it. I rely heavily on family, just opening up, talking to family. Some people, need counseling.
For others, it's common to experience stress reactions that manifest in various ways.
We'll see people, again, with the body sensations that might be feelings of just kind of sickness, tiredness, fatigue, tension, irritability, and really common is, disruptions to sleep.
In some cases, this can continue on for a month or more,
which should involve them considering speaking to a professional.
Going forward, Hamilton advises open communication with loved ones and others within your circle to avoid dealing with these feelings alone.
Be aware of what you're experiencing and please do try to reach out to loved ones and or close people in your life or professionals who are there and trained to support people.
Josh Ryan, Newcap News.
Welcome back. Those hoping for economic growth in the border city will look at the CPCA tarp sale as a good sign. The 19th annual auction saw the total gross increase by more than $60,000. Josh Ryan has more.
Lloydminster hasn't yet escaped winter, but the CPCA tarp sale has the chuck wagon community amped up for spring.
We try to put on a hell of a show for people to come out and see, and just invite everybody to come out and get a chance to watch it if they haven't.
22 wagons were sold Tuesday evening for a total of $183,000, with an average of more than $8,000 per wagon, a big increase from last year. This has many encouraged about the region's financial prospects.
It's a good sign. I mean, Calgary was up 33%. We're up 33% here. It's a good sign. I'm hoping the economy's coming back. We're spending more money to put on a good show. So yeah, it's a positive outlook.
For the second year in a row, the highest-selling wagon went to Chris Molly for $20,000, courtesy of PWM Steel.
Without them, we couldn't go down the road, and they're not even sponsors, they're just family to us, so it's huge to have them.
While familiar faces like BJ Carey, Ray Mitswing, and defending champ Wayne Knight are back, there's also excitement about having new faces in the field that can eventually take over the sport.
At age 65, they can't drive no more, so it's nice to have the young guys coming in to replace them that go. So yeah, it's good to see. It's good for the organization.
You got Preston Faithful, he's ran pony wagons and was very successful doing that. And then you got Dale Mitswing that's outrode for numerous years and a champion at that, and he also has a champion father.
However, Molly's prime concern remains breaking his 3-year streak of finishing in second.
A few things if it's driving or horses or whatever, but I got to try something different because I do want to be on stage driving that truck one day.
Josh Ryan, Newcap News.
The Cutter Rally 2018 fundraiser is being hailed as a huge success, and representatives from the fundraiser presented a sizable check to the Region Health Foundation. The total of $12,000 check was presented on Thursday to officials of the Lloyd Health Foundation.
You know, it's a great feeling of satisfaction. I'm sure all of my committee feels the same. We worked hard and we do put on a fairly good Cutter Rally, but this year we were a little bit more fortunate in sponsorship and other fundraisers that we did alongside the Cutter Rally.
On the day of the Cutter Rally, more than $5,000 was raised. With the help of other donations, $12,000 was the total.
This particular group, they've been doing this for a long time in our community. You know, it's just one of those quietly well-run events in town that everybody comes to every year, and it's fantastic. And at the end of the day, they raise a good chunk for, you know, their neighbors and friends that are suffering locally from cancers.
The money raised this year will go directly to purchasing chairs for chemo patients to sit in during their treatments.
A year ago, they helped purchase one of these chairs, and all the patients absolutely love it. They come early to make sure they kind of reserve it, I guess. So they said this, you know, two more chairs would be absolutely fantastic.
And the Collective Art Market in Lloydminster celebrated their 2-year anniversary this week. Ryan Craig reports on how they got here and what is next.
The Lloydminster Collective Art Market came from humble beginnings. What started as a short-term experiment has turned into something so much more.
The girls, my two partners, Beth and Dawn, started it as a jewelry pop-up because they're both jewelers. And then it started to evolve and I joined them and we had a pop-up at Synergy Credit Union. And then we found this space and it has evolved to what it is now with, we have over 30 artists in right now.
The market is a gallery and boutique store featuring the work of only local artists. They also host workshops taught by Lloydminster professionals and rent studio space.
There's actually a huge artist community here that a lot of people aren't even aware of, so that's part of the reason why we started.
I thought I knew all of the people in the art community in Lloyd because I taught and also because I was part of the Allied Arts early on and all of that. And I have met so many. I bet 2/3 of the people in here are artists that I didn't know.
The 3 local artists who are also owners of the market hosted guests for cake and coffee for their 2-year celebration, which gave them some time to reflect on the last 2 years.
One of the greatest things was how well we've been received by the community. So we're really grateful for anybody who's ever come and taken a class with us, if you're an artist who trusted us to promote your artwork.
It's definitely, we started in challenging years and it has expanded my art myself.
Now 2 years into their endeavors, the owners do not plan to stop anytime soon.
We hope that the future of the Collective Art Market is that we will be able to continue to grow and continue to support new and upcoming artists in Lloydminster.
Ryan Craig, Newcap News.
This is Newcap Sports.
The Red Dogs program has dominated the Capital District Football League for years, which has sparked a debate. Is this team about winning or development? Lance Phillips with more.
The Red Dogs' undefeated streak is in its third year, a testament to the quality team Lloydminster minor football continues to produce year after year. Saturday's contest against the Edmonton Chargers was the closest in recent memory, with the Red Dogs prevailing 18-10.
It was a slow start. I mean, both sides of the ball, you know, defense led a couple plays through, offense skipped a couple times. So, I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
After an opening weekend thrashing of Battle River 39-6, the point could be made that the team didn't improve, but that couldn't be farther from the truth, and that's a good thing, given the team's influx of young players.
Yeah, there is improvement. You know, we have a lot of rookies this year, and, you know, they're picking up their game each practice, each game. You know, they're learning the plays easier, they're getting it down, they're getting it faster, they're getting it better.
We've obviously been moving up from bantam up into midget, so it's a big step up, and the coaching staff has definitely helped us make that big step.
We just look for little improvements, right? The kids have to be here, they have to be a little bit placement over there. Like, there's just little nuances that we fix. So it usually all comes together on Saturdays.
Comprised of mostly Lloyd Comp Barons and Holy Rosary Raiders players, the Red Dogs, like those schools, have a rich tradition of winning. Maybe the sole reason those schools win is due to player development provided by the Red Dogs program. So what does the midget team value? Winning or development?
You know, it's a bit of both. You know, we wanna keep this win streak going, you know, and just keep our heads up. And it's a lot about getting better. Because, you know, we are good at winning, but we do lose our heads sometimes.
Development for your high schools. Like, this is awesome. You get coaches from both sides helping you out, and then you flip right into Holy Rosary and Comp and Wainwright, and you go back against all those guys that you got coached about.
We do keep score. There's a scoreboard, but on the other hand, we do take grade 9s and 10s, so it is development. Absolutely. It's a little bit of both worlds. That's why I like it so much.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.
Well, that's your first look at sports. Gerard Lampo is in with your weather details next. Stay with us.
This is Newcap Weather with Gerard Lampo.
So we continue to look forward for spring to behave like spring officially and not still behave like the season that is past. I think that it's catching up with us, and we'll see a better trend in the 7-day forecast. Let's start off with the next 24 hours as we put this map into motion there. Some clearer areas on the overnight, some cloud cover encroaching from the southwest, and maybe hints of precipitation at about a 30–40% chance there. Looks more like the Lakeland region there at some point during the course of the day into afternoon, but maybe not so much in our region. We may see some light flurries, yes, but no major accumulation. And temperature-wise going into tomorrow, even if we should see some of that there, +2s largely around the region there, +6 if you're heading out to Edmonton, 4 for Provost Macklin, even 2 for Wainwright there. So certainly we'll see some more melting. And even today with the sun out, even though we got to -2, there was a lot of melt on the way. 3 in Isle Cross and Green Lake for tomorrow, 1 for Maidstone and North Battleford areas. Let's head across the country then, stop off in Vancouver for a mix of sun and clouds, sitting at 11. 6 in Whitehorse, similar skies there. -1 in Edmonton, a mix of sun and cloud. Clear skies, sunshine still in Yellowknife for their -7. -2, variably overcast in Regina, -2, but mainly sunny in Winnipeg. And as we head further afield to Toronto, +14. That's a couple degrees up from the last hour when they were sitting at +12. 4 in Quebec, cloudy skies, overcast in Halifax for +3, -4, and an ebb and flow of cloud cover in St. John's there, and -18, mainly sunny out to Iqaluit. Let's return to the prairies, stop in the Battlefords, lots of sunshine still for there, -4, and largely clear on the overnight, just a movement of cloud cover, but certainly by morning, -14, and with the wind on that, there's some wind chill certainly going into the morning commute, +1 and some cloud cover encroaching as the day goes forward in the Battlefords in the area. Cold Lake proper now, you're at +1 and sustaining your daytime high for quite a bit there. -11 on the overnights though, should be mainly clear into the morning. So again, some wind chill on that, wind gusting anywhere between 10, rounding it off 10 to 15 kilometers per hour there. So some wind chill on that going into the morning commute. And the prospect of some flurries in the afternoon, daytime high of +2. So it won't be any accumulation on that there. A little windy, yes, the wind gusts, and even in our area, you could see it picking up on the overnights there Friday into the early hours of Saturday morning. -3 at the moment, down from -2 earlier, -10 in the early hours of tomorrow morning, and then looking for a +2 during the course of the day. The odd flurry is around, yes, it may be a 20-30% chance, but we'll see some wind gusts anywhere from 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, and that could pick up later on in the day there and linger on the overnights into Saturday morning, and even continue at various points on the weekend to get from +2 to +4 on Saturday and Sunday. It will take some warmer air certainly, and that will have to push winds in there to get that to happen. Trace amounts of showers around on the overnight Saturday into Sunday, but it looks more pronounced the Monday and at various points overnight. Tuesday could flip over to snow actually, but +3 for Monday and +1 for Tuesday suggests that we'll see some more melting taking place. +2 on Wednesday and +3 on Thursday. I think that 60% chance on Wednesday is overdoing it a bit much, but certainly the entire 7 days, and we haven't seen that for a while there, they're all positive numbers there, Brian. And that's a sure sign that spring is beginning to pay attention to what we're calling for. Let's check in with you now for agriculture news.
Well, as we've all been hearing, it's the winter that doesn't want to go away, and area producers are anxiously waiting on Mother Nature to pitch in. In this week's Agriculture Report, Gerard Lampow gets out in the field to see how producers are faring.
It's officially spring, but you wouldn't believe it. Ag producers are, of course, anxious to get out in the field there. We're trying to move this cedar today, but she's stuck in the snow real good.
A nice slow melt this time of year might not be. We might need a quick melt and to get warmed up. There's a lot of cold ground out there underneath this snow because it was so cold for so long before the snow even came along. And I think we have frost a fair ways down. So
Jonas Hagel would like the sun to get out there and get the frost out of the ground. He farms about 5,500 acres of wheat, canola, oats, barley, and pulses. He is playing catch-up with his grain shipments as a result of the backlog.
when you pulled in, you seen some trucks here. They were just hauling now for actually a September contract. So we're in, what is it, April? Yeah, we're a bit behind on some things.
Producers would love a steady diet of +5 weather to get the melt underway. In the meantime, Hagel is in his workshop.
This week we're hauling a bit of grain, but we've been changing bearings on the one disc drill, sort of rebuilding it, you might say, and then also cleaning grain. There's lots.
Hagel is also putting a flat deck box on his truck. He's watching his input costs, including the price of diesel and fertilizer, and looking at the market.
If we knew the markets, we'd all be millionaires.
Hagel is optimistic about the prices this fall and remains philosophical about the weather.
Mother Nature usually makes up for it, they say, or the old guys say, in the long run, but hopefully we don't get a bunch of July hot weather or something, but I would love to get in the field sooner rather than later.
Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.